Continue our coverage from the PDAC. With me now is the Mercenary Geologist, Mickey Fulp. Mickey, how's it going?
It's going well.
So yesterday, presentation day for newsletter writers, you went a little different on the script there. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, I threw them a curveball at the end of the day. They asked me to give the last talk and to fill the room. And I figured by that time everybody had heard enough about markets and stock picks and inflation, deflation, and gold and hard assets and bear markets. And so I threw them a curveball and I talked about geological catastrophes, doomsday scenarios that are bound to happen within certain time frames.
All right, we'll wrap up with that a little later.
Okay.
Now let's start with, there seems to be a rebound here in the sector, in the gold mining sector. I'm hearing a lot of optimism from people at the conference. Do you share that optimism?
Well, I certainly do, and I'm hopefully optimistic about what's going to happen after this conference. If you remember the last 3 years, we've had a similar move up in the Venture Exchange Index pre-PDAC, and then all the pros come in and sell right after it, and they end up being the high for the year. But this feels a little different. This has been going. We saw this in Vancouver in January at the conference there, and of course the price of gold going up's helped us too. So hopefully optimistic, I think.
Absolutely. Now, there's been a large scale back, obviously, with exploration in the last year due to the steep drop in gold price. Yeah. We've seen big miners completely cut exploration, and that seems to raise an issue that isn't really talked about. I'd like to know if you think that right now, this large scale back in exploration, this lack of exploration and discovery, if that's really an issue now or we're not quite there yet.
Well, I don't think it's an issue now because the lead times from exploration discovery to mines is probably on the order of at least 5 years. But I think and I will also say that the majors cutting back on exploration does not bother me too much because they're not very good at doing it in their corporate structure. The juniors are the ones that find gold deposits or uranium deposits, copper, whatever. But I am concerned for the next 5 to 10 years out, if we have a dearth of exploration, it's going to take a while for that to catch up.
Now, also sticking with lack of discovery, now we haven't seen any real big discoveries in the last decade. Now, my colleague Daniela spoke with Pierre Lassonde last week at BMO conference, and he said that maybe there's just a lack of technology. The mining sector hasn't caught up with technological advances to make these big discoveries. Do you think that's the case?
Well, before I address that question, I do have an opinion on that. I would say that we've made some big discoveries, but resource nationalism in emerging markets in the world have denigrated those discoveries. For instance, Fruta del Norte in Ecuador, Rebound in Pakistan. So big discoveries have been made. Regarding the technology, we have new technologies. We have remote sensing. We have computer ways of manipulating data. We have GIS overlays. Those have been fairly recent developments in the mining business. The problem is all the easy stuff's been found. There's hardly a square meter of prospective geological space on the Earth now that has not been trod by geologists. So the easy deposits have been found. Now we're looking for buried deposits undercover, and that's just tough.
All right, let's wrap it up now with, we'll take it back to your presentation yesterday. Now, I know part of it was asteroids smashing the Earth and yes, turning us all to dust there way down the line. But right now we have asteroids in mining that companies like Planetary Resources and Deep Space Industries are saying they're going to look to mine these asteroids. Do you think we're going to see this anytime soon?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime, but I'm an old guy, maybe in yours. But I certainly think that's going to happen at some point. As I've already said, we've found the easy stuff on Earth. The asteroids are major sources of nickel and platinoids and iron and various other metals. So it's coming. And I ended my talk yesterday, which was really a doomsday, the end of the world as we know it talk, stretched out from a year to 6.6 billion years when the sun becomes a white dwarf and the solar system essentially ceases to exist. But long before that happens, we will find a way to get to another blue-green planet someplace in our galaxy.
Always a pleasure, Mickey.
Thanks a lot, Alex. My pleasure.
And thank you for watching our continued coverage at the PDAC. If you have any comments and questions, please don't hesitate to send them to newsfeedback@kitco.com. Keep watching.